have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Welcome to another episode of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I am the ringleader of sorts for this little excursion, Scholar Jeff. Alongside with me, as always, is Scholar Brian.
I'm the fire breather. Yes.
That's it?
I'm the fire breather.
Launching the fireballs?
I launched the fireballs.
The fireballs.
And I also train the elephants.
I wish I knew what that meant.
You said you're the ringleader. Circus.
Okay,
Boom.
we're going with the circus references. Okay, I guess that's the one-man clown band, Scholar Tarek.
I'm not gonna continue with this circus shenanigans.
Boo!
That's right,
Boo.
I'm pulling the heel right in here on the first episode of the 2015s of Scholars of Wrestling.
Where I can actually say we are not completely pissed off at the WWE product.
We're not fully satisfied, but we're not pissed off.
Give it a few weeks, then we'll all get there. We'll all get there.
Wait, get there being pissed off, or get
Yes.
there being
Well, for
happy?
Jeff's case, when Daniel Bryan doesn't win the Royal Rumble,
WWE Network, unsubscribe.
Yep.
Click.
No, you know it's not gonna happen. You can't go without your Sasha Banks.
Oh, I will.
You
find
really
my
can't-
ways.
you
really
can't.
I will find my ways, sir.
He really can't argue with that. He'll I have my ways. I'll go onto YouTube and just watch the clips on the WWE.
And I'll just-
And then he's
page.
like, no, I gotta watch it live.
And then I'll cry into my cornflakes.
I got my fix of Sasha Banks right there. I got my fix.
I need my waifu.
waifu.
All right, beyond all this shenanigans, let's get into the show proper. Let's start off with a little bit of backstage news.
Let us peek behind the curtains.
Backstage news.
Keep doing that. Maybe one day we'll actually make that an actual sound effect.
Hey, it could happen.
But
It's like the
probably
New York
won't. I'm being
Lotto.
lazy.
Hey, you never know
Hey, you know what we never knew?
how to turn off our cell phones.
Yeah.
Sorry!
Not only do we not know how to turn off our cell phones, but apparently another thing we didn't know was that apparently as soon as Alberto Del Rio leaves the WWE, he just starts winning all the belts. All the belts everywhere. Because apparently he just recently won the WWL World Heavyweight title. Down in Mexico, I believe.
Good for him. That's all I got to say.
This guy's just like racking up belts.
we did say that he should go back to Mexico and do what he did down there to get so successful in the first place.
And guess
so,
what?
Boom, there he is. It's done.
And guess what? He succeeded.
That's it.
Yeah, he's racking up all these belts. Now he's getting all these MMA deals with Strikeforce or whatever. And he even did come right out and say, "I will only go back to MMA for the money if they pay me more than what I'm getting in wrestling." Then yeah,
Hey, at least
Del
he's
Rio's
honest,
making mad
right?
bank right
It's
now.
one of those. At least he's honest.
Yeah.
he's
man.
not going to be one of those guys who goes in and says, "I want to fight because I want to fight." No, he's like, "I want to fight because I make crap tons of cash in my yard whenever I have a fight. So you bring the cash, I bring the fight."
Fair enough. That's entrepreneur.
But you already knew that.
But you already knew that.
You already knew that. Best catchphrase of 2011. I don't know why they got rid of it.
Because WWE.
Indeed.
That's the best answer.
Speaking of WWE, we apparently have a new announce team.
Yeah, WWE announced different announce teams for Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I believe you have the list.
Yes, apparently, if this list is correct, we've got JBL, Cole, and Booker T on Raw, and on SmackDown we've got Cole King and Byron Saxton. One question, why did this happen? Does anybody know?
I think that Jerry Lawler's having a lot of health problems.
Is a key factor, yeah.
So it's probably a good idea to lighten the load as it is. And let's face it, he's basically a shell of what he once was. So freshen it up. You can only freshen it up so much when you have Michael Cole on both shows. But freshen it up a little bit. Put in some new talent as Byron Saxton, who has been known to be a pretty good commentator when he was commentating on NXT. And just JBL, Booker T, and Michael Cole turned out to be pretty good on Monday Night Raw. So keep it going. And it turned out pretty well. And you lighten the load of Jerry the King Lawler, who has heart issues and had the diverticulosis or
diverticulitis.
Good enough.
I know big words.
So it makes sense. People say that Jerry the King Lawler is the voice of Raw. Well, let's face it, he's gone downhill and needs the break, really. So
I can argue there is no voice of Raw, voice or SmackDown.
The voice of Raw was Jim Ross.
The voice of WWE was Jim Ross, and
so when
but we all already knew that. But
yeah, so it's
as much as they're trying to force Michael Cole as the voice.
It doesn't
of
really
WWE,
bother me. Well, Michael Cole, it bothers me, but the change of announcers doesn't really bother me.
As long as they actually do what the commentating teams are supposed to do, which is push your superstars, talk about the storylines that are happening. Once in a while, bring in like the big stories, but don't completely insult your roster, your mid-card to lower-card talent. Don't always talk about what's going on in the main feud that's with something else going on in the ring. If they get rid of all that and do the right thing, yes, WWE, do the right thing.
Do what's actually best for business.
You heard it from this man. Do what is best for business and actually promote your talent.
Yeah, well, speaking of what's best for business, assuming that they even know what's going on, apparently Awesome Kong is doing what's best for business, her business, because apparently she's back in TNA again.
She's back where she made her name. Okay, back where she was quote unquote killing bitches.
Well,
I mean, like,
she didn't really make her name
in America. In America,
she was sort of a mainstay in Shimmer for a while and on the Indies. That's really where she got
when she got
Japan.
When she got popular with the casuals, not the hardcore that look for every indie and all that. Stop it.
I'm just sitting here making noises.
Casuals do not go for Shimmer.
Casuals also... Do casuals go for TNA?
Yes, actually, they do.
Do they?
Casual TNA fans.
Yeah,
does such a thing even exist?
Yes,
well, if you actually watch... Like, we watch their shows and there are people just sitting there. Yeah, I guess they are just casual TNA fans.
No, those are people who are confused who got on the wrong line for... Who thought they were getting on the line for Spider-Man.
We'll go like this.
Where am I?
Yeah.
I don't know where Spider-Man is.
I'll say this.
For Spider-Man.
I'll say this, okay? Where I first heard of Awesome Kong, okay, TNA.
Same.
So she goes back to where she started making big money. We'll go there. And that's it.
TNA, big money? What? What is this?
We've got a TNA hater over here, people. That's it. So she goes back. You got a big girl feud between her and Havoc, and then she could go back to killing bitches. So win-win.
Please hire her back.
It's not happening. If they didn't hire her back after the pregnancy, then they're not gonna hire her back.
Boo.
I have to boo on that one as well.
So to TNA she goes, where she kills bitches, wins all kinds of women's titles, and people are happy. She's making money. Everyone else, she's making everybody else look good by killing them and going on.
Making everyone else look good by killing them.
I like that.
Think about it.
I'm
making you look good. Now excuse me as I kill you.
John Cena logic.
That's careers, not actually.
A lot of the best performances from the TNA knockouts have been being killed by Awesome Kong. Okay, that's it.
Oh boy. Well,
they left and the knockouts kind of went downhill. Okay. Started coming back up, And now Awesome Kong's back, so good stuff for the knockouts.
Well, at least Kong's making money again, so that's good, I guess. All right, so back off.
Good as it can be.
Yeah. All right, moving on to
be nice.
the other.
Trying to be partial, but
Not quite
You're kind of taking his Captain Optimism card there.
Hey, it's moving.
only for TNA.
Only for TNA?
Only for TNA. I'm still Captain Pessimist when it comes to the WWE.
Talk about Captain Optimism. I was like Grand Champion of Planet Optimism this week when I was watching Wrestle Kingdom 9 from New Japan Pro Wrestling. First time. Oh man.
Well, considering what I heard about the show, and Meltzer is giving 5-star ratings for matches on Wrestle Kingdom, yeah, I can imagine it was pretty good.
Let me tell you about my adventures in watching Wrestle Kingdom 9. Just for the record, you guys didn't get a chance to watch it yet?
I have not gotten a chance to watch it yet. This week's been hectic.
Okay,
Same.
well in that case, let me tell you a little bit about my adventures in watching Wrestle Kingdom 9.
I got the popcorn, Brian. Let's sit back.
Story
and
time!
Story time with Jeff.
Scholar Jeff.
Returning. Story time. Story time.
Okay, so it's Sunday morning, right? It's about 3 a.m. For some reason, I cannot sleep. I'm miserable. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
I'm just sort of like sitting there just like for an hour, just sort of like staring up at my ceiling, not really knowing what's going on or what I'm trying to do with my life. So about an hour passes, like an hour and a half, I don't care. I'm pretty much losing all track of chronological time at this point. Stop looking at your phones. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
I'm just sort of like barely trying to piece thoughts together while I'm trying to contemplate whether or not I want to attempt to go back to sleep or just wake up and be miserable for the rest of the morning. Until for a moment there, it hits me. Wait a minute. At this time in Japan, right now, New Japan is having its Wrestle Kingdom 9 show right now.
Yay.
So I'm like, what on earth am I doing? I need to be watching Wrestle Kingdom 9 right now. So I turn it on, and I catch the latter portion of the... Thank you. I catch the latter portion of the show, so I'm just getting into, like, almost like the last main events right here. And the match I start off with is for the IWGP Intercontinental title, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kota Ibushi.
I already like this match.
Yeah, as soon I had you.
He heard
Intercontinental title.
And you know what? Not only was this the match of the night, I felt like I was you for a moment, because not only was this match of the night, this match is easily front runner for match of the year already. And Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer, already gave it a legit 5-star match rating.
Damn
and
right.
It deserves it. These guys went like 20 minutes. These guys, seriously, Shinsuke Nakamura is now one of my favorite wrestlers of this generation. The match was absolutely spectacular. Nakamura oozes charisma. Kota Ibushi, this guy's just like, I don't know who to compare him to in the States, but he's just like, he's definitely a name to watch. I felt like this is what an Intercontinental title should be.
Thank you.
Nakamura is a legit, like, 3 or 4 time IWGP World Champion. And he's going down here, he's elevating the title, he's really making it matter. And I was just blown away by this match on so many levels. And I feel like I was also spoiled. I see the possibilities now, and now I'm spoiled for all other wrestling. The match, seriously, if you ever get a chance to see this, sit down, take a break from whatever you're doing, enjoy yourself. Every single wrestling fan on the planet needs to see this match.
Where's the best place to see this match?
I don't know. Probably on YouTube.
Google it!
Probably on YouTube or Dailymotion somewhere. It'll probably be around.
Google it. You'll find it.
Okay.
Yeah, so you definitely got to see this. Everyone's got to see this. You who are listening to this show, after this show is over, you must see this if you haven't already. And if you have, Go see it again. It's a great match. Do it.
He's probably going to do it after we leave tonight.
I probably will. As for the rest of the show, I caught this one. I caught the main event. Tanahashi versus Rainmaker Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight title. This one was not quite as good as Nakamura versus Ibushi, but you know what? Very few matches in the world will. At least not this year. But you know what? It came pretty damn close. As far as a lot of people have compared, Tanahashi to like, oh, this guy is just like he's like John Cena if he was booked properly. Oh, this guy's more like Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. I don't know where these came from. He's definitely a whole other beast. Same thing with Rainmaker. These guys are separate entities on themselves, and I wasn't used to their wrestling style. I haven't seen either of these guys wrestle before, but oh man, this match went over a half an hour, and they're wrestling all over the arena. They're brawling on the ramp. They're in the ring. Tanahashi's doing his, I forget what he called it, but they're basically frog splashes. He was frog splashing into this guy from everywhere.
Nice.
It was absolutely beautiful. I was like,
I love me some frog splashes.
Seriously, between the IC title match and this, my jaw just dropped like every 10 minutes.
How many matches were on the card?
I think
all of them.
Legitimately,
all of them.
I think there was like 9 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously, this match was so weird by American standards because when we're watching a typical WWE pay-per-view, we see a match, there's a little bit of breathing room, maybe an ad, maybe a segment, and then there's the next match. With New Japan, seriously, it was match, okay, maybe a 2-minute, change of whatever, and then the next match starts. It was just match after match after match. And it was just, I just wasn't used to going at that pace. When I was watching the rest of the show later on, which I'll get to, it was like a breakneck pace. It was just wrestling after wrestling after wrestling after wrestling. It was like an adrenaline high, and it was just so. I don't want to say it was bizarre, but it was something I wasn't quite used to.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, going back to Tanahashi versus Okada, I'm not going to spoil it here, but again, that's another one where it may not be a 5-star match of the year candidate. Well, I would say it's a match of the year candidate, but it's about as it had a damn tough act to follow, and they did about as good a job as anyone could have done in those situations. It really shows why these two are multiple-time world champions with IWGP, and it's a classic. It really, really is. Of course, at that point, I am still up for the rest of the day. I'm doing my own thing. And then 8 o'clock comes for the replay here in the States, and I am starting to get a little tired.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like I caught the end of it during the early morning hours when it was happening live, and I caught the the beginning half when the replay aired, when the all English replay aired. So I really can't cover every single match just because there's so much to talk about. And I didn't get a chance to see everything.
All right,
I'm just sort of going to bounce around and get some highlights here. Let's see here. Togi Makabe defeated Tomo Ishii. Those names probably don't mean anything to you, but if you saw these guys, these guys are like really crazy brawler types. Really, but they're likable kind, like Bruiser Brody and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
These guys were crazy. And, let's just say the guy who I wanted to win actually won. And that was cool. The show itself proper actually opened with like 3 multi-man tag team matches in a row.
Teddy Long would be so proud.
Yeah, he would just like...
Teddy Long booked this show.
Yes, Teddy Long is probably moving to Japan right now. It's just like, tag team matches!
Tag team matches!
Tag team matches.
Yes, he hollered all his way to the Tokyo Dome. I mean, just about every other really great tag team you could ever think of that's not in WWE was here. The Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, Red Dragon, the Young Bucks. Other tag teams I didn't even know existed, like Alex Shelley and some other guy who was dressed as Marty McFly from Back to the Future.
Oh God, I'm sold already.
He's in.
The tag team is called the Time Splitters.
That's even
Tarek is
better.
in.
It's
Tarek's
God,
favorite
I love
tag
it.
team ever
Yeah,
is
that's
now
my
the
dude.
Time
I
Splitters.
gotta pull this up.
Yeah, let
Wait.
me just quickly see a picture of these guys.
Oh wait, I don't have. I thought I had the tab up. Never mind.
He brings up the tab as if Doink the Clown.
It's like,
I was
all
looking
right,
up
let's
the
look
Raw
at,
results.
It's like, let's look at this awesome wrestling. Doink the
Yeah.
Clown.
Oh.
Nothing against Doink, may he rest in peace.
Indeed.
Yeah, but still, and guys who I didn't even know were on the New Japan roster. Shelton Benjamin showed up.
Shelton Benjamin's so great.
Yeah.
I miss him.
What was his name in WWE? He was the other guy who was in the Hart Dynasty.
David Hart Smith.
David Hart
Yeah,
Smith.
David
yes.
Hart Smith. Yeah, he was there. Just all these guys just started showing up. It's like, hey, I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy too.
Was
And
Tajiri there?
no, Tajiri was not there.
Damn.
But you know who was?
AJ Styles was there.
Actually, I was going to say Taka Michinoku.
Oh!
Oh my God.
Taka Michinoku.
Taco?
Was Funaki there?
No.
Oh.
I was actually hoping he was, just so you could say indeed.
SmackDown.
Yeah, that would be a great setup.
Number one.
Evil.
Hey, seriously, you want to know how great this show was? They actually had a pre-show match, and their pre-show match was a Royal Rumble.
Oh my.
Taka was in the Royal Rumble. They had...
How many participants in this Royal Rumble?
Actually, they had like 20.
Huh?
So it's like
They had the
old
guy
school
from
Royal Rumble.
they had the guy from Bullet Club. They had, of course, they had Taka. They had what was his name?
Funaki.
No, Funaki was not there. Except they had another guy whose first name was Sho. So I was like, wait a minute, is he just wrestling under another name? No.
No. Who are we kidding?
Boo!
Yeah.
How could you have Taka and not
They had
Funaki?
Jushin Liger on there.
Holy
Oh my
crap.
God.
I know it was.
There's a throwback.
Wow.
It was so weird. Just like, okay, random Jushin Liger on the pre-show. What am I watching?
Okay.
Oh man! Of course, we got the American guys who we would probably know. You got AJ Styles defeating some guy named Naito.
And apparently, from what I was reading on Twitter, this was pretty good.
Yeah, it really was. What little of it I was.
Didn't he
managed to
hit
catch.
like a second rope Styles Clash?
Something
for
like
the
that,
win?
yeah. Yeah, this is where I started to nod off since I was up so early. So I really didn't catch all of this. I did catch Kenny Omega versus Ryusuke Taguchi for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, which I will spoil this. Kenny Omega did walk away with it. One of the newer members of the Bullet Club.
That's good.
Which, between this and the AJ Styles match, it makes me wonder, how far in advance did they know when they were booking this? Do you think they knew that American audiences would be watching? And did this impact the winners of this match at all?
I don't believe so. Because, well, for AJ Styles in the first place, he's been around the for a while. So that was probably just booked that way no matter what. And
Okay.
Kenny Omega, he's a brand new member of the Bullet Club. You gotta get him over somehow, and I hate to say this, but that is like WWE booking. He's brand new member of the Bullet Club, so you gotta get him over somehow. So you get him a big win on pay-per-view, perhaps a title. So boom, there you go. That's classic booking right there. Anybody can do it.
Yeah, true.
Doesn't really I think it's just coincidence that it happened on the first American
You're right. You're probably right.
shown pay-per-view.
Yeah, the rest of other members of the Bullet Club, and it was actually one of the 6-man tag matches that they had earlier on. The Bullet Club actually lost, specifically the team that Jeff Jarrett was on. Yeah, Jeff Jarrett.
Well, come on.
Jeff Jarrett, Bad Luck Fale, and some other guy.
Yeah, with those
Yeah.
names, you
Some other guy.
Yeah.
So,
Versus 3 other New Japan guys who I didn't know anything about. But it was like, it was serviceable. It was serviceable. Also, the one Asian guy on the Bullet Club, he was basically like The Rock when he joined the Nation of Domination.
Vanilla.
Yeah, he's like a New Japan guy who turned traitor.
Rock is vanilla?
When he first joined the Nation of Domination, he was. Yes.
He was the odd man out.
He was the odd man out. He had no character at that point.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm like vanilla.
That's what I meant by vanilla.
I'm like, what are you?
I didn't.
Yeah,
I
gotta look this up. I'm sorry.
It's like I don't. It's like I don't get what you're saying.
Yeah, the guy who is like everyone came out with valets in the Bullet Club for the 6-man tag matchup.
I was gonna say everybody
Obviously,
came out with valets, but
yes.
Oh,
Jeff,
really?
Jeff Jarrett came out with obviously Karen.
I don't know. How that came up.
Yeah, because Jeff Jarrett. That's why.
I just was like, you know what? Why not?
Yeah.
And is it weird that when I was just doing the theme song, I'm thinking of WrestleMania 2000, the video game?
Yes.
Is it weird that I was thinking that
No.
like the N64 music playing?
Okay. Okay. Here we go.
The last two amazing WWE games.
Yeah, I just looked up the results. Okay, it was a 15-man Royal Rumble that started off the show.
Sho Tanaka. Boo.
Sho Tanaka, Yuji Nagata, Taka
Jeez.
Michinoku, Tama Tonga, Tiger Mask, Jushin Liger, the Great Kabuki, and wait a minute, Yoshiaki Fujiwara.
They've got some names in that.
Yeah, seriously, what the hell? What the hell was this? Oh man, this
Guys wrestling. That's what this was.
And
man.
apparently 11 matches. 11 matches.
11 matches.
I was close.
Wow.
Well, that is pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Jeff Jarrett came out with, obviously Karen. Bad Luck Fale, I think, came out with Scott D'Amore. And the third guy, the Asian guy, Yujiro Takahashi, came out with some woman named Mao. And she was gorgeous. I don't know who she is or where she came from, but
keep coming back.
good going, Japan.
Apparently, Jeff wants some Mao.
Assuming this is
Sasha Mao. Oh
Sasha
yeah.
Mao. That is his fantasy match.
I'll be in my bunk.
I think we lost Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, come back.
Okay.
Wake up.
Come back. All right. And they lost to these team of Mikey Nichols, Shane. Oh wait, that's another thing. There's so many names here. Okay,
It's
they
Japan.
lost to
They like the
Tomoaki Hanma, Hiroyoshi Tenzan, and some guy named. Okay, Brian, brace yourself. This guy's name is Satoshi Kojima.
Kojima.
I said brace yourself, sir. So yeah, that happened. They lost. Bullet Club lost in 5 minutes. For some reason. And that's actually it's the second. That is the second shortest match on the card. The match after that was this crazy match. That was Mikey Nichols, Marufuji, Shane Haste, and Toru Yano.
I'll say this about Japan.
Butchering this.
I'm sorry. I'll say this about Japan. For most cards that I've seen, they really like their multi-man tag team matches.
Holla, holla.
Holla, holla, get dollar.
Every card has at least 3 of 6-man tags, 8-man tags, triple threat tag team matches. These guys.
Sit down.
Japan loves tag teams, and they need to bring that stuff over here.
Yeah, and speaking of Bullet Club, now we know where Luke Gallows is. He's now wrestling under the name Doc Gallows with the Bullet Club, who also lost.
Of course.
Of course.
But hey, at least we got AJ Styles and Kenny Omega going over with the Bullet Club, so hey, that's fair. But overall, and the commentary was very, very good. listening to the commentary, you can tell like it was almost like Jim Ross came alive again. It's almost like he regressed and de-aged like 15 years.
And how did Matt Striker do?
Matt Striker did fine. You can tell he was sort of
he was more into the history.
Yeah, he was marking out for one, and number two, you can definitely tell that he was anticipating a lot of new viewers, that people who had never seen New Japan before. But you know what? I didn't think it really affected it at all. I had no problem with Matt Striker or Jim Ross at all, except there were a couple little hiccups. You can almost tell when Ross and Striker were almost going into modes where they were almost going into WWE programming by default. Then it was like, okay, wait a minute. I don't have anyone yelling in my ear. I don't have to do the commentary this way.
Well, I mean, let's think about it.
We didn't say that.
Oh my god!
I mean,
However,
let's think about this though, because Matt Striker was a commentator for what, 6 years? He was a commentator for a while. Yeah, and Jim Ross, jeez, he was a commentator. So it's like it should be expected. Mm-hmm. That when they're doing commentary, they've still got that mindset, like someone's gonna be yelling in my ear at some point very soon, and when it doesn't happen, it's like,
okay, this is nice.
Yeah.
Oh, fool, you are going to love this. Of course, it was subtle, but occasionally you would catch Jim Ross and Matt Striker doing digs at WWE.
Holy cow!
Especially like.
Well, if anyone deserves to do it.
There were like little lines here and there. Like, if you knew WWE history and what they've been through in the past, you're like, oh, I see what you did there. But the most obvious one was during the Nakamura versus, for the IC title.
Yeah.
Jim Ross is like, yeah, you really need to, you can definitely see how much this title means. There's really no point in going for a title that doesn't mean as much as any other title.
Oh my god, thank you. Thank you. That's why I love you to death. That's why I love you to death, JR. I'm going to buy some barbecue sauce because of that statement.
Yeah, I think we all need to buy some.
We're going to go online immediately after this taping and buy some barbecue sauce.
Oh, seriously, I want to do that now.
Oh. JR, he gets it. He gets it.
Yeah, and you.
Yeah, I mean, and it's hard. It's hard. Okay, I'm skipping for a second, but it's hard to give a crap about a title where you'll just take it away from somebody because they made a comedy show appearance. They made a comedy show appearance and didn't tell you about it.
Yeah, you got the point where this show was completely.
That's why Dolph Ziggler lost the Intercontinental title. He made a comedy. He booked a comedy, a stand-up appearance, and apparently he booked a comedy. He booked a comedy club appearance to do like a Mick Foley deal, and didn't let the WWE know. So yeah, it made sense with the storyline, but the actual reason. Another reason why.
This is news to me. I didn't even hear this until right now.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw and.
What? Wow! I am just.
Wow.
Any questions on how the WWE works anymore? I think I'm gonna switch over to
New Japan.
New Japan, because apparently this sounds freaking awesome.
And you know what? It truly is. Just wrap up my coverage of Wrestle Kingdom 9. This will absolutely go down as one of the best wrestling events of the year, and we're barely in January. This really shows to me not just what wrestling can be, but basically what it can be when it's unfettered by WWE-like bureaucracy around the world. It really reinvigorated my love for wrestling again, just like NXT Our Evolution did. I got that same feeling again.
Because now
it was so great.
Yeah, and now we have an alternative because now they're showing in the United States, and we don't have to go to screwed up channels to try to grab these pay-per-view matches, we could just order it on pay-per-view because it's shown.
Better yet, I was going to originally include this with backstage news, but I figured I'd move it to this section. Apparently, New Japan is actually, because of the success of this pay-per-view, they're actually looking at having an English commentator or commentary team for all their events going forward. And apparently, I didn't even know this until just a little while ago. There's something called New Japan World, which is basically their version of the WWE Network, and it is accessible by American audiences. And it turns out that like 10% of their overall viewership is actually from American. I was about to say prescriptions, subscriptions.
You need a prescription because of how awesome this is.
I'm in.
I can take it.
all he had to hear were time splitters, and he's all in on it.
No, seriously, those guys are great.
Is it really silly to ask you what your facial hair rating is for this event, for all that you've seen?
All the goats.
All the goats have been let out of the penthouse.
Someone go to the zoo. We got all the goats. Seriously, I've never...
We went to the zoo, we stole all the goats, and they're here.
No, in all seriousness, I've seen like single matches on YouTube or Dailymotion or what have you, just from either it's, Joshi stuff with my homegirls or whatever, or just, random Japanese matches here or there. I've never actually seen a full pay-per-view front to back before. This was unlike anything this was honestly, without hyperbole, unlike anything I've ever seen before. If you're American and you're a wrestling fan, this match, I do not have the words. Apparently. I do not have the words. You must see this.
Find a way.
Google it. Yeah. It's going to come out on DVD, hopefully not region locked, but wow. This was everything I love about wrestling. Just boom. And now I'm a Nakamura mark. Woohoo. Go wrestling.
And now that they're talking about the American commentary team and showing this to American audiences on pay-per-view, we now have that alternative. Because let's face it, TNA is not. You can
not even close.
TNA apologists can try all they want, but TNA is not a good alternative. If this is coming out on pay-per-view, yeah, you got to stay up late, but apparently,
it's worth
according to Scarlett Jeff, totally worth it. Yeah, so
especially if New Japan World works with American audiences, I'm gonna have to look into that. Because again, I don't know too many specifics about that now, but hey, I will tell you this: by January 26th, actually, I'm probably going, if and when I do cancel my WWE Network subscription, I will probably subscribe to New Japan World if this keeps up. But wrapping up, Wrestle Kingdom 9, totally worth any wrestling fans' money. Boom, bottom line. You will love it. What?
Goat Zoo.
Yes, Wrestling Goat Zoo. As far as a wrestling domestic product that comes close, we do have our regular NXT report.
Not much to report, really.
Yeah, it's how can you compare a 4-hour wrestling show to a 1-hour weekly episodic thing?
You can't.
Yeah, but again, you know what? NXT is still NXT. Again, yes. We just watched a little Sasha Banks beating Alexa Bliss action. That was always
Alexa
good.
Bliss.
We found Brian's new love interest.
And she got her ass kicked by
Jeff's love interest.
Hey,
it was beautiful.
To be fair, we're both gonna have to fight a lot of dudes. So,
yeah,
get ready. And not for nothing,
Mortal Kombat.
In the meantime, though, not for nothing, which this one totally caught me off guard. And what is another thing that's of note? We didn't get a chance to watch it before we started recording, but there was also a rematch between the Lucha Dragons and the Vaudevillains for the NXT Tag Titles, which was actually a legit... It wasn't just like a little 5-minute throwaway tag match on NXT. This one was actually a legit rematch for the title. And it really surprised me. It was... You ever have that reaction where you're just sort of sitting down to watch a match? You're not really you're expecting it to be average, and then it turns out to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had that reaction with this match. It was legit. It was like we were getting a legit return match from a pay-per-view. It's like, a legit sequel on regular weekly television, and it was great. So again, it's not going to be Wrestle Kingdom 9, but you know what? For a weekly episodic wrestling show, it's NXT. It comes about as close as anybody can get.
You just need to say, it's NXT.
It's NXT.
Need I say more?
And I'll just...
Well, apparently I do.
I'll say this right now. I did watch TNA's event on Wednesday.
The premiere episode, right? On
the premiere episode on
Destination
Destination America. And
okay, thoughts?
I gotta say, for the first time in a while, I didn't hate it. Okay, I don't like that Bobby Lashley is the TNA champion
I heard
again.
He got booed out of the building.
I think that Rude should have taken it, but the wrestling was good. Okay, the return of Awesome Kong, that doesn't upset me, and the news of the people that they re-signed makes it seem like TNA's going to still be around for a little bit. So
they're starting back from the beginning, like,
because they re-signed Kurt Angle, they re-signed Anderson, Anderdy. They re-signed a bunch of names that people remember. So if they're re-signing people, that means they're not so far gone as we thought they were. Okay, they can't really sign them. They couldn't re-sign the Stings, but you know that he's asking big money. You know, for his appearances in the WWE, he's getting huge bang.
Plus, he also gets to solidify his legacy.
Exactly,
he's going into the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, exactly. Whether it's this year or next,
I think it's this year.
I'm
having a feeling.
Meh, but it wasn't bad, and it's the first time I can say legitimately that I'm looking forward to the next episode.
No.
I'm not
me convinced this to.
I'm not gonna tell Jeff to. I'm not gonna tell Scully Jeff to watch it because knowing his luck, he'll turn it on right on the crappiest segment of the show because this is normal.
Yeah, it'll be like, guess what? You just missed Awesome Kong versus Jessica Havoc. I'm like, damn it.
And now we have Bobby Lashley coming up next.
Bobby Lashley Bobby Lashley promo. Oh
God!
Way to bring my hopes up and then dash them right away.
But it was pretty good. I'm not gonna say it's great, but it's been a long time since TNA. I can honestly say that TNA hasn't been, pardon my French, a shit show. Okay, but so I was pleasantly surprised with what I saw.
All right, well, it wasn't total crap, but I guess that's about as much as you can expect.
I would give it a solid goatee.
Okay. 3 out of 5 goatee. Okay. For TNA, as far as TNA,
that's a goat. Okay, for TNA, that's a goat.
And you know what? That. Believe it or not, that's actually enough to pique my interest at this point. So, who knows how that's going to go? Hopefully, Destination America works out. Hopefully, Kurt Angle gets to get all the money he needs. Whatever. TNA survives to live to fight another day.
Hey, as long as we have another wrestling thing to watch, and from what you're saying, it's actually starting to get better. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Good wrestling is good wrestling. Makes us happy scholars.
Okay, keep it up, TNA. See if you can improve. In the meantime, we get our usual supply of wrestling the same way every Monday night.
And it didn't piss us off completely this week.
It didn't leave us wanting to kill our TVs, but it just left us going, there is so much stuff that actually could have been better.
It could have been better, but it wasn't like, oh, why am I still watching this crap?
Honestly, with the exception of one or two bright spots, I felt like I really did have that reaction. Maybe it's just because I was just watching Wrestle Kingdom 9.
Yeah, that'll probably do it.
Yeah. Just watching this by comparison, it was just like,
Well, both the products are two completely different products.
Yeah, I know.
You have to know.
New Japan, it's going with pure wrestling. With WWE, they're heading more towards the entertainment and building stories and having the wrestlers actually, be more actors than wrestlers.
And the stories that they're building are picking up. Okay, there was a holding period the last 2 weeks so they could get this authority thing rolling back on schedule, and now that they have, I expect some pretty good stuff to be in the coming weeks.
Right. So let's get right into it. First off, again, we were sort of talking very briefly about this little opener. Wade Barrett, Bad News Barrett, beat Dolph Ziggler for the IC title.
You wanted to heel Barrett? You got to heel Barrett.
You got heel Barrett. What do you make of this?
Well, before I even get into that, let's first just give our initial response to the Authority adding Seth Rollins to the main event at Royal Rumble.
I like
Making
this.
it a triple threat match instead of a simple one-on-one.
I like this because I don't want to see Brock versus Cena 4. I've seen it 3 times. It's the same crap every time.
Hey, at least they acknowledge that.
So they put Rollins in, and now there are possibilities.
Yes.
There are the Money in the Bank briefcase, okay? Rollins doesn't have to win the actual match. He can let Lesnar and Cena beat the crap out of each other, kind of stay back a little bit, and then whoever wins, he can just be like, "All right, my turn."
Cash
Curb stomps him.
Yeah, or it could just be a regular triple threat match. But Seth Rollins was my wrestler of the year. No, the only match that was a disappointment of his to me was the tables match that wasn't really a match in the first place. So anything that has Rollins in it has me interested. Basically, I'll say that.
So simply put, we all approve.
Yeah,
Rollins getting added in.
Again, most of my focus is still on the Royal Rumble match and how that's going to go. But as far as main event, otherwise main event title matches go, this is about as fresh as it could be. At least we're not getting.
At least it's not. At least
Cena Lesnar 3.
I could say this with 99% certainty. It'll be better than Cena versus Orton last year.
That is true.
Agreed.
That is true.
Which automatically makes this a better event than last year.
Okay,
back
to the IC title match. I liked it. I liked that they are keeping him a heel. It just brings in the question: what the hell was the whole face return to have him face Cesaro? What was that for last week?
I think that was.
Was it just for a return?
I think it was just for a return. Yeah. I think so.
I think that really reeked of.
That reeked of this guy's coming back after 6 months.
This guy's coming back, and he's probably going to be cheered like crazy when he does come back. So that's going to happen.
So give the fans what they want one time, and then screw them over the next week.
Or at least give them a chance to cool down a bit and get on the level where he's going.
As for the match itself, at first, I was watching this with Mike, and it was like, ooh, Wade Barrett versus Dolph Ziggler IC title match that's opening Raw. I am all for this. I'm loving it. All of a sudden, 1, 2, 3. Wait, what? What happened here? We're not getting this IC title match? Quick roll up and it's over? And it just was the whole point of showing that Wade Barrett is still a heel. And is it me or is Wade Barrett actually toned? Did he get toned a bit?
He was always toned.
More toned than before he left. Before he left, it was
I'm thinking that he went crazy on the lifting.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he definitely bulked a little bit, but that's not the point. It leads to a heel.
Oh wait, do you work out?
Do you know where the weight room is?
You look great.
I'll check it out.
You don't even lift, bro. That's it.
Come at me. But it's just led to him being a heel and just showing that the Authority made it a 2 out of 3, and it was just a very, very weak thing. It's just showing that they're just torturing all the Team Cena members, and Cena is doing nothing about it. So really, I'm just like, as good as it is to see Wade Barrett as a heel, I was really hoping for, an actual legit match, which we're probably just gonna have to wait for a pay-per-view to do it.
Yeah, this was weak.
This sucked.
As far as Intercontinental title matches go, again, especially coming off of Wrestle Kingdom 9 with a 5-star.
Now take this with a grain of salt, because he just came off the awesomeness of Wrestle Kingdom. Again, so he's a little jaded.
By comparison, this title match meant nothing. Rationally speaking, I understand what they were going for, but in a broader sense, if we're thinking about how a title can be taken seriously and elevated and all that good stuff, this meant not much at all.
It didn't, and it really was just painful. Like I said, it was a quick roll up. I was actually they could have added the 2 out of 3 falls after a good long match. I wanted to see this match go for a good long while. I would have been completely happy if this match went a half an hour. But it really
it's raw.
It's
yeah.
You know what? Having the a half-hour match in a 3-hour Raw is a lot better than having little bits of stupid stuff.
Yeah, conventional logic dictates that. But
yeah, but
we're not talking.
It's WWE.
Logic
there's no logic in WWE. Instead, we get a good 5-minute beatdown on Dolph Ziggler, and then Kane comes in. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's a 2 out of 3 fall. Ha 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 ha. Bah humbug. Ha ha.
Okay. I'm gonna be the optimist here.
Oh my God!
Okay.
Wow, what's happening?
Okay,
Jeff, you gotta fight for this.
No, you know what?
Fight.
He saw Wrestle Kingdom. He can be the pessimist this week.
He's on a Wrestle Kingdom high.
He's on a New Japan high binge right now. So, I liked the match itself. Okay, taking it just as a match, not the implications. I liked it. Okay,
that's fair.
Do I like the way that suddenly the Intercontinental title's hot potato again? No, but I like the fact that Barrett has it now because he never lost it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Ziggler does not need it anymore. So now that he's in this angle with the Authority where we'll get to that, and now that he's in this angle, he can actually move up. Okay, I don't want to see him in the Intercontinental title picture anymore. If this gets him out of the picture, I'm fine with it. And into the main event, I'm fine with it.
You know what? And to continue on what you're saying, that's what the Intercontinental title is meant to do.
Exactly. So boom, if Ziggler
into the main event, then they're actually doing something right.
Exactly. So we'll see how it goes. But out of the 3 that this storyline actually affects, okay, I see Ziggler making it to the main event first because of the fact that he was the one who put down the Authority the first time. So I see him getting the big push, getting the main event first. So I see this little thing right here, this match, as the springboard to that.
Okay, to basically saying, I liked what they did. I hate how they showed it. I actually would have preferred a nice long match for Ziggler and Barrett, and it actually ends nice clean victory, making both men look strong. Ziggler wins, he's celebrating, all of a sudden Kane comes out, and he says it's a 2 out of 3 fall. Excuse me. Ziggler is confused, he turns around right into
Bullhammer.
1,
Heel!
2, 3.
Heel tactics!
We don't need the 5-minute beatdown. It would have just been one out of nowhere. Bullhammer, 1, 2, 3, and then we have actually our third match.
And then you have the 10-minute match.
And then you have another 10-minute match. That is actually... It would make both men look strong, and it would make Wade Barrett not just the typical heels like, I'm a sore loser because I lost in 5 minutes in a simple roll-up. Yeah, that's how it felt to me. You guys are just like, wow, he really went there? Yes, it felt that way to me. It didn't work.
Well, then again, this is WWE booking we're talking about.
Exactly.
So you're not too far off base.
But if it happened that way, would it be like, if it happened the way I wanted it to happen, would it have been a better product? Like, to present.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Because it would make both guys look strong, not just a simple 5-minute roll-up pin.
But for what I know of the WWE, I had a good time with this. Well, for what I know, for what I've seen, and what I know the WWE does, this was good to me.
Okay, yeah.
Well, good for you.
Well, like I said, I liked Raw. There was just points where I feel like it could have been done better.
Well,
just
definitely.
little bits.
I feel like I could have spent that about most of the product that WWE produces. So, again, you're not wrong. All right, speeding through some of the rest of the flotsam of this week's Raw. Okay.
It sounded like you said reeks Raw.
Because it's reeks Raw.
This reeks. This whole thing.
This Raw reeks.
This reeks of Raw.
No, he's like, this reeks of Raw. Well, you just watch Wrestle Kingdom, so you're
on the Wrestle Kingdom high, so you're just like, this product is just not. It just
compared
reeks.
to what I just watched. This kind of sucks.
Oh, this week's Raw is just so pleb. It's for all the plebs. This Raw is so pedestrian.
Oh my!
Oh my!
Oh my!
Goodness gracious!
Okay,
all right, continue.
My hipsterism aside,
continue.
Real fast, before getting to the real high spots of the night, Ascension defeated "quote unquote" local athletes.
Okay, again. Interesting.
I didn't expect this to be a whole big discussion. But
this is Ryback.
No. This is not. Yeah, exactly.
This is Ryback 2.0.
This is Ryback for a tag team. All I can say is, one, the promo was very lackluster. Like
the promo was lackluster, and it made fun of a dead guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, bad. Not good. Not good promo writing.
Well, it is the Ascension. They didn't really have much beyond "yah."
But
you don't make fun of a dead guy.
Yeah. Instead of having them pull the Ryback thing, because nobody wants to see that, I wanted them last week to have their debut taking out the Usos, who just won the tag team championships. Because we know, like, they're trying to be like, okay, for all the people who didn't watch NXT, this is the Ascension. Why can't you just build on from NXT on there? Because... better way to put it, even though like the people who don't have the network don't know who these guys are, for the people who do, just see these guys come in and just take out the Usos. It'll make a big mark on their their debut to the main roster.
We don't need the crappy promos.
We don't need the crappy promos. We don't need the Ryback defeating local jobbers. Because that's all they are. I'd like to once.
They don't even give them names anymore. They just.
I would like to see a local athlete actually win a match, which is never going to happen. So what's the point? What's the point?
Local athlete is the new
Sorry
vacant.
for my spraying of spittle.
Local athlete is a new vacant.
Local athlete is the new vacant.
Vacant's too good for that.
Vacant's too good for the local athlete because vacant always wins.
Yeah, so that was a thing. All right, going to some of the more higher spots of the evening. Skipping on a couple segments. We got Harper and Rowan wrestling each other. Granted, it was a dusty finish with J&J and Security.
What they're doing with the storyline, yeah.
Hopefully, I just hope this eventually leads up to a legit match between these two.
It's going to. This is the big. I don't think that they're going to have a match in the Royal Rumble. I think Rowan eliminates Harper in the Royal Rumble.
Thus setting up to something for Fastlane.
Thus setting up because what I see happening here is the beginning of the matches tonight, or the beginning of feuds for when they come back.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
Ziggler unfortunately gets Kane.
Yeah, someone had to.
You got Rowan will go against Harper, and Ryback is already set up with Rusev. So, but if I get a match between Rowan and Harper at WrestleMania, good for me.
That'd be great for it.
Good for me.
These guys can pull it off easy.
This was less of a match than an angle setting up the storyline for later in the night. Basically.
The only thing that I would have to say to it is I love the idea of Rowan and Harper feud. I just wish they actually did something with it beforehand. This feud could have started when Harper and Rowan joined the teams.
It should have. That whole Big Show thing shouldn't have never happened.
Like that, exactly. The whole thing with Big Show shouldn't have happened. Like I said a few weeks ago, Harper winning the Intercontinental title should have been the start of their feud, with Rowan saying, "You are now the man. You are a part of the man," which is what the Wyatt
You're
family...
a part of the machine.
You're a part of the machine. Thank you.
That's what we were here to
fight
against
in
the first place.
And the fact that you joined them could have stemmed a feud between them. If anything, like, as much as Harper and Ziggler was the match of the night, hands down, for the TLC.
It shouldn't have happened.
It shouldn't have... Exactly. It shouldn't have happened. It should have been Harper losing the Intercontinental title because of Rowan on a Raw to continue this whole feud. Because really think about it. What happened to Harper and Rowan after the Survivor Series matches?
They kind of just chilled.
They went... Harper shows up once in a while. Rowan was on Main Event and Superstars. They did not. Rowan was pretty
and all of a
sudden
they're on tag teams in the main event of Survivor Series. I love it, but all of a sudden it just kind of happened.
They just get thrown aside, and once the Authority came back, now they're brought back. What was the point? It's like, now you could have done something to fill time for these guys instead of just throwing them in random matches and shows that no one actually watches.
Yeah, it was basically these guys were in a holding pattern from Survivor Series until now. Okay, when the Authority came back. So it's one of those things. Okay, why did the Authority lose in the first place if you're just going to have a holding pattern for a month and a half?
Because inconsistent writing.
Yeah,
because inconsistent writing and illogical booking from the creative to actually worry about the lower and mid-card talent, because all you're worrying about is John Cena.
Other than John Cena and Seth Rollins, all of these guys on the teams were in holding patterns until the Authority came back. The only one who really did something was Ryback when he got into the feud with Rusev. Everybody else was in a holding pattern fighting each other.
Is it weird? Wait, is it weird that, let's see, who did Ryback face Monday? Kane and...
He faced Kane and Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins, that's right.
Yeah.
I love that they just basically, just put their Rusev feud aside.
Well,
because
I saw a main event.
Rusev and Kane, really.
I saw...
To continue this whole feud with Ryback and Rusev.
I saw a main event, okay, and Rusev had an interview, had a promo basically cutting down Ryback. And just like, you might have been embarrassed because you got fired on Monday night, but if you had faced me, you would have been humiliated. You would have been... You should be thankful that you got fired.
That's what...
It didn't have to face
me. I guess that's the only way they can keep this feud going, by having a unnecessary backstage video promo.
No, it wasn't even a video promo. It was right out in the ring.
It was in the ring?
It was in the ring.
At least it was in the ring, but it's still just the fact that it was a promo. They could have just gotten rid of this promo and had him versus... He
officially announced himself in the Royal Rumble match, so I believe
that's much of a shocker.
But I believe... Well, the way I was thinking was going to be Ryback versus Rusev at the Royal Rumble. Now... I believe that they're going to be surprise entrants in the Royal Rumble because these guys are all the guys they're facing Rusev himself has said I'm in the Rumble. So why bring Ryback back before that? Have Ryback surprise and eliminate Rusev in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, they're definitely all the fired people. They're definitely gonna come back. Maybe for all we know, I'm guessing it's probably just gonna be a little bit of a surprise, the Royal Rumble, woo, whatever.
I don't want them to come back before the Royal Rumble.
I don't want them to come back before the Rumble either.
I want them to come back in the Rumble.
It would pretty much just be John Cena just showing up with I got a ticket. That whole thing.
The only thing that would work is if that would work on the show would be like if they abduct Stephanie McMahon or whatever. They're in the back room and you have like an Undertaker type thing. They abduct Stephanie McMahon, lock themselves in a room with them and all that noise.
They're the new union.
Stephanie McMahon.
They'll come out to the Royal Rumble carrying 2x4s.
And the Authority finally get the door unlocked and it's just Rowan in a sheep mask staring at Stephanie down in a chair.
Sup?
I don't know why, but I just want to see this whole thing of Stephanie, like, she's gonna go home early, so she gets in the limousine, and you see the limo, and all of a sudden,
where
to Stephanie with Rowan.
We've done this.
No. You don't even do where to. You just see sheep mask in the
sheep mask.
You just see sheep mask
Where
and Eric
to,
Rowan's
Stephanie?
Inquisition. You don't even hear where to, Stephanie. You just see sheep mask do the inquisitive head to the side thing and then drive off.
I am looking the wrong way while driving.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Just wrapping up the last.
That's my fantasy booking.
Okay, just before we get on to the last segment, I'm going to do my normal Cesaro rant, just to fill out. Okay, I don't really have a problem with them having a feud with the New Day because that gives them something.
And
to
I
do.
do like this tag team. I like Cesaro and Ted.
I am okay with Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, but it's just they're pretty much the new Rybacksel. That's how I'm looking at them. They're the new small-time heel tag team that is facing the small-time face tag team.
For now.
Because it's just really, it's like, I like the idea of them disguising as Rosebuds and taking the New Day out, but did they really have to dance with Adam Rose? Did they, I would have loved to have seen them...
It's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
I actually would love to have seen them take Adam Rose out and just show their dominance. Not just be like...
Heels can't take out another heel.
Heels can...
This is the WWE. That's not how it works.
Nexus, when they debuted, took out John Cena and CM Punk.
That was 2010.
The exception proves the rule.
That was 2000. That was 2009.
Hell, improbable.
2010.
Improbable, but never impossible for them to for heels to take out another heel.
Thank you, John Leguizamo.
No, it's like 2010. That was acceptable. This is 2015. The 2010 that was acceptable. This is 2015 WWE.
But really, wouldn't it be good to show dominance if they took out everyone?
Yeah.
Not just the whole, we're the new Rybacksel for WWE.
We are bullies.
We are bullies.
We are the bullies.
Okay, now let's get on to the main event.
All right. Basically, it wasn't even the main event. It should have been the main event. But
The main event was
Adam Rose.
Adam Rose.
Yeah, that was the main event.
We're not going to be talking about
that. Was the main event of Raw. Oh my god,
sweetie.
Oh my god.
Very dust. Let's talk about something good. Let's talk about
the Leprechaun.
No, let's talk about the Leprechaun. No, let's talk about Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose ambulance match. Wyatt went over. This was enjoyable.
This should have been the final match.
It really
before the promo.
Let's face it, it really was the main event. And I'm glad that Wyatt actually got a win.
I just got to say something real quick because I saw a lot of this on Facebook.
Speed.
You know who I'm talking. You know who you are. I'm talking to you.
I know who you're talking about.
If you think that this is burying Dean Ambrose,
I know exactly.
Then you have no idea what the term burial is. Okay, he beat the crap out of Bray Wyatt in this match. Okay,
yeah, really, he's been beating the crap out of Bray Wyatt for this entire feud.
Okay, so bullshit happens in some matches and he loses, but okay, Bray Wyatt needed to win this feud.
Yes.
Okay. Whether he fights The Undertaker at WrestleMania or not, Bray Wyatt needed to win this feud. Dean Ambrose doesn't need to win this feud. He's on Chris Jericho levels now. He could lose every match and still be the most over guy in the company behind Daniel Bryan.
Thank you for that correction.
Okay.
And showing what happened on SmackDown, which very soon we can talk about on this show because they're moving to Thursdays and we record these shows on Friday. Dean Ambrose is coming in to help Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins and The Big Show. So, continuing from last week, they're continuing the Authority / Evolution versus The Shield storyline.
It's the storyline that never ends, but it's always awesome.
It really is.
That's good enough.
It's very good.
And that automatically elevates Roman Reigns for me. Because now he's teaming up with Dean Ambrose again, and Dean Ambrose always makes him better. So, boom.
And he still needs these guys. Roman is
no
getting
doubt.
better, but he's just not there yet, which hopefully this means he does not take in the Rumble.
But here's my problem, okay? Daniel Bryan states that he's entering the Royal Rumble, and then you hear jack crap about him this week. Nothing. At all. So I'm like, what does that show?
Well, we do know that he's going to be...
He's going to be wrestling on a SmackDown, but I mean, like, after he announces, this is your number one face. You can say it's John Cena all you want, but you know it's Daniel Bryan. This is your number one face. Just announced that he's going to be entering the Royal Rumble, and nothing. Nothing on SmackDown last week. Nothing on Raw this week. Nothing on Main Event. Nothing on SmackDown this week. Okay? That does not give me high hopes for Daniel Bryan's chances at the Royal Rumble. Because if they were really all in on this, he would still be all over the product. I'm in the Royal Rumble. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, to be fair, two things. Number one, he's not even... He just got confirmed for an in-ring return for this upcoming SmackDown.
I mean,
number one.
I didn't mean he had to wrestle, just something.
Yeah. Number two, this could also be a maneuver for the WWE to sort of hide what they're going to be doing at the Royal Rumble. If they play their cards right, or extremely poorly, depending on how it goes, the winner of this Royal Rumble could be a relative mystery. Like, again, it's popular talk right now that, okay, we know that Roman Reigns isn't ready yet. We've got Daniel Bryan.
Well, you know
back.
that Roman Reigns isn't ready yet.
But
there are talks.
If dirt sheets are to be
there are talks.
Some inside WWE are slowly but surely coming around. So, to me, that means there is more of a possibility of the solution being up in the air than it was a few weeks ago.
And
so
yes,
we'll
I will say that I have come around to the idea. It's not my number one choice, but I have come around to the idea of Daniel Bryan possibly winning the Royal Rumble.
It's better than some of the other alternatives.
I don't like the way that I still think he hasn't done anything this past year and I don't like coming back from injury and automatically winning the Royal Rumble. That's just me. But
that's fair.
But I have come around to the idea of him possibly winning. Not my first choice, but if he does, I'm there.
But again, that's going to be something we're going to be talking about at great length in a couple weeks.
That's why I didn't post anything in the Royal Rumble game yet, because I'm just...
I know you're biding your time.
I'm probably just going to post the numbers this weekend, but I'm going to save the person who I think is going to win probably closer to the event.
I never do well in the actual game, but I'm like 3 out of...
Year.
No, I never won the game. I've pulled the winner out of my ass like 50 like.
Wait, who won it in 2011 or 2012?
I'm the one who called Alberto Del Rio, but I did not do well in the game.
Which WrestleMania was it that had Sheamus defeat Daniel Bryan for
in 18 seconds? Oh boy.
That
was
was
WrestleMania 27.
12?
But who
12?
won the Rumble that year? Was it
Sheamus? Sheamus
so
won.
It was that. It was.
Oh yeah.
What year was that?
That was
12.
2012.
So, yeah, because I remember Michelle. It was a three-way tie that year between me,
I have never
Michelle, and Peterson.
Yeah. I have never won the Royal Rumble game, but I have pulled 3 out of.
Pearson won a different year.
Nah, three.
I remember it was it was like a three-way tie for.
I've called the winner of the Royal Rumble 3 out of the last 4 years. Never done well in the Rumble game. But I called Alberto Del Rio, which everyone was shocked.
Well, I wasn't totally shocked.
But basic, I wouldn't be mad. Okay, I'm still going with Roman. I'm still going with Reigns. That's still going to be my pick. I've stated it since the beginning, since last year. I've said that this is Roman Reigns' year. But so I'm gonna stay with that. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna back out now. But I would not be mad if Daniel Bryan won. He's not my first choice though.
Again, we're gonna be talking about that at great length.
All right, let's talk about the closing segment of Raw.
Where everybody gets fired.
Everyone gets fired. What's our response to that?
I've got nothing to say. It means nothing to me. It's like the death in comic books. It means nothing. They'll be back in a couple
As soon as the Authority came back, okay, I remembered what they said was going to happen if the Authority won the Survivor Series match. So I was like, as soon as John Cena said the words, "I bring back the Authority," I'm like, Rowan, Ziggler, and Ryback. See you at the Rumble.
Hey, at least they get a couple weeks off. That's fine with me.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And I like that they're actually running with it and they're not on house shows or anything like that.
They were put in the alumni section. I like that.
I like that at least the online portion of the WWE actually is on top of things.
Yeah, well, it's because, again, it's run by Joey Styles, so of course it is.
Yeah, so...
We'll see them soon.
And I like that it makes these guys a bigger deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ryback. You wouldn't... Eric Rowan, it makes him a bigger deal when he was just kind of lost in the shuffle the last couple weeks on Superstars, not even on Raw. Now, all of a sudden, he's a bigger deal now because he just got fired by the Authority. So he's back in the eye. You've got Ryback and Dolph Ziggler. So these guys are all gonna have heightened statuses just because of they got fired by Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. So it works for me. And I knew it was coming, so I'm like sitting there and they're being called out one by one and I'm like, he's got to fire him.
With the John Cena standing in the ring and dun, 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 dun.
I thought that was pretty amusing to me. That was great.
That was amusing.
I sort of zoned out by this time. I was like, okay, those guys are fired. Okay,
so
good night.
Facial hair rating, gentlemen?
Of Raw.
I give it
I'll go with solid goatee. Nothing. Now, remember, take Jeff's with a grain of salt because this was 2 nights after Wrestle Kingdom. Okay, that's it.
Wrestling Kingdom high aside, what would you give it?
Honestly, I'd give it a peach fuzz. It was underwhelming.
Underwhelming? Okay.
All right.
And the only reason it gets that...
For the first Raw 2015.
Yeah, really. It only gets that rating just because of how good Ambrose Wyatt was. That's it.
I had more fun with this. Classic goatee. It's like you knew what was coming when the Authority returned last week. You knew the 3 guys were going to get fired. You knew that they were going to blame John Cena for it all. You knew that the 3 guys were going to get their asses beat throughout the show. So I'm like, for what I expected is what I got. So, and I was fine with it. Classic goatee.
You pretty much hit the nail on the head on that one. Like I said, it was a good show. It was better than the minus the last Raw 2014, better than the other Raws that we've had. It was just, like I said, it was good. There was some stuff that should have been polished better, or should have just in general been done better. So with that, I was still pretty much entertained. So in the end, I just give it a normal classic goatee.
Yeah, so it was a Raw. It happened. But you know what?
At least it's starting to be. It's like planting the seeds for the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, the road to WrestleMania. Raw's better be good, man. We better be goatees across the board or more than for road to WrestleMania.
I am skeptical.
Of course,
but
you
know
are.
What? We want to know what you think, listeners of YouTube. So feel free to leave us a comment telling us what you think about Wrestle Kingdom, NXT, Raw, whatever. Leave us a comment. If you like this, leave us a little like on the video. It really helps us out. And of course, if you like what you hear and you want to see more, click that little subscribe button. And of course, if you want to put in your I did it again, prescriptions. Wow, I gotta stop.
You need to take a nap.
I need a nap. If you want to put in your predictions for the Royal Rumble, you can join us on Facebook. Right after you hit like on the official Scholars of Wrestling show Facebook page, you can also go to the 2015 WWE Royal Rumble game and play with the rest of the Scholars and with so many other people on Facebook. Pick your 3 numbers as to 1 through 30 as to who you think and your picture of who's going to win the Royal Rumble. Score points. Play with all of us around the country and around the world. It's going to be a great time. It's the best game on Facebook.
It makes the Royal Rumble so much more fun.
It gives it more stakes, and it's so much fun. Oh, wow. So that's another week in the books. I don't know how we're going to top this week, but just the drama of leading up to the Royal Rumble is going to be enough for me. In the meantime, until next week, we are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome.
Let's watch all Wrestle Kingdom 9 again.
Let's do that.
You watch it again. We're watching it for the first time.
Yeah.